So welcome you, my dear students. So as we were talking about the photoperiodism and marginalization in the previous lecture, a series of lecture and the videos. So now we will be talking about the photoperiodism in plants basically. Okay, means if you see in the world, the tropical, subtropical, and the polar countries. Actually, if you see the light hours and the dark hours in 24 hours is different in different countries. So if you go to Canada or UK, you can see different types of flowering plants. But if you come down, if you go to the subtropical regions like India or South Africa, so you can see different types of plants. So that means it indicates. So based on the light period and dark period, flowers actually blossoms. Okay, so what are the things actually happen behind it? What are the hormones? What are the genes? What are the biological phenomena actually are there? We are going to talk about here. So photoperiodism is nothing but with a few exceptions, virtually all organisms, okay, including plants and animals, exposure to light for a given number of hours per day for a variety of growth and reproductive function. So what does it mean? So that means with few exceptions. So there are some exceptional cases, but virtually are normal cases. Plants and animals actually they expose to light for a given number of period for their growth and reproductive function. So light is very essential. Okay, not fixed. Is essential for a number of hours. The this day length is called photoperiod, means how much time, how long the plants are exposed to the light, photoperiod, and this phenomenon is called photoperiodism. Okay, this is a biophysiological phenomenon, so this is called photoperiodism. So photoperiodism, this phenomenon is a transducer. It acts as a transducer. Transducer means a mechanism that supplies signal from the environment. So transducer, actually the photoperiodism act as a transducer in the plant system. Transducer means the mechanism to supply signal from the environment. So what type of signal actually they receive? They receive the light signal, and light is nothing but the wavelength. Okay, so what are the things? We'll discuss it later. And photoperiodism derived from two Greek word, that is the photos mean light and period mean length of the time. That is very known. It's not so difficult. So here you can see in the picture or in the text, the photoperiodism in plants is generally happen in two phases, that is the vegetative and reproductive. If you see in a plant growth and development total their life cycle, you can find the vegetative growth and reproductive growth. So in case of human also, the autosomal growth and the sex chromosomal growth. So in case of plants also, vegetative and reproductive growths are there. Under an appropriate photoperiods, plant switches from vegetative to reproductive phases. Okay, so see here, under an appropriate photoperiod, so if you apply light, plant switches, plant can go step upper or from one step to another step. Here is from vegetative to reproductive. So such a interesting thing. So the plants are actually lying on the vegetative state. So if you apply photos, mean light, it will switches and over jump to the reproductive stage phase, responding to synthesis of flowering hormones, its subsequent translocation to the buds. So that means what is the thing actually here? So photoperiod means if you expose to a certain plant into a light, that require light. So the vegetative growth will be transferred or shifted into reproductive growth. So reproductive growth is associated with the flowering plants and flowering hormones. Okay. And once the flowering hormone synthesis is done, so its translocation will be distributed. Means the translocation of the birds, means the hormones will be translocated among the birds for flowering. Correct? The effect of daily duration of light hours and dark periods on the growth and development of plants, especially flowering, is called photography. Here is also the another set of definition. So here you can see uh, the photoperiodism actually. Now we can ask, sir, what actually does the photoperiodism in plant body? Only the flowering? No, not only the flowering. There are several a series of activities of photoperiodism in plants. So here you can see the bud dormancy. So if one bud is dormant state, so try to remember the vernalization process. So bud dormancy, so bud will be germinated, control of vegetative trait. So vegetative trait will be controlled and will be switched to the reproductive trait. Tuberization in plants. Tuberization means the tuber formation, nodule formation for nitrogen fixation or nitrogen fixing bacteria when harbors inside the root system. You can see the bulb or the tuber in the root, means the root nodule. This is called nodule or bulb or tuber. This actually harbors the nitrogen fixing bacteria. And simultaneous leaf fall in dioecious tree also, it does the effect on the leaf fall reducer in the dioecious tree, and dark carbon fixation in CAM plants. So CAM plants, C4 plants, C3 plants is the hardcore physiology of plant. So it's only nothing but the assimilation of carbon from the atmospheric carbon into the organic carbon in the plant body is based on that CAM, C3, C4 is actually categorized. So next is a brief history and the discovery. The concept of photoperiodism actually was given by W. Garner. So you may please remember this name, Garner and Allard. Okay. So if you are not able to remember W. Garner or H.A. Allard, so you just remember because it is important for MCQ all the times. So Garner and Allard of US Department of Agriculture studied flowering in Maryland mammoth variety of tobacco plants. Tobacco plants is the Arabidopsis. Okay. Hey, sorry. Tobacco is the Nicotiana tabacum. Nicotiana means in Bengali this is called tamak pata. Okay. Tobacco plants in 1920s. So before independence in India, so US agricultural departments, they already discovered the technique and the mechanism or the genes or the functions actually. Okay. So variety was a single gene mutant tobacco. This is a very deep study. You are not requested to remember this thing. Just only think and remember Garner and Allard from the US Department of Agriculture, two scientists. They actually found the photoperiodism mechanism in tobacco plants in 1920. Okay. So control of flowering, if you see, if you can remember the vernalization process also, you can see change in the day, photoperiods mechanism in the leaves. What actually happened there? Florism hormone is actually synthesized. Florism hormone is synthesized main, so it will act as an inducer to work with gibberellic acid, GA hormone. Okay, so gibberellin and florizin along with, they will actively participate in the flowering phenomenon. Okay, in the plant. So vernalization takes place, will then flowering will come. So photo periods is the very important thing here. Okay. So now there are some classifications. There are some classification of responses means short day plans. Short SDP short day plans means the flowers when day length is shorter than critical day length. Okay, so day length is when short, so this will be called a short day plants means they required only a less number of hours of daylight. Okay, short day plans. Long day plan. So here short day plans. You just try to remember the concept and one example. One example is enough. Okay, so short day plans means in case of natural conditions, so 12 and 12 hours. Okay, so when less than 12 hours is required light, so that means it's a short day plant. And soybean is the example. Long day plants when they require more light, maximum more than 12 hours. Okay, so this is long day plants. They require maximum light like the oats, radish, or spinach. Okay, LSDP. This is important, and SLDP is also important. This is nothing but long day followed by short day. Okay, long day followed by short day. So long day means required maximum light followed by short day, then less light. So that means two step. Initially, they required maximum light period, and then once the bird is just blossoms, then the light requirement will be reduced. So here is the Jasmine is the example, and in case of SLDP is the just opposite thing, and the reverse thing means the short day followed by long day. So initially short day means less light is required, less light for the bird blossoms or the gibberellic acid synthesis or the florization activation. These are the things. But once this is activated, so then you have to increase the light period. Okay, so this is the SLDP. So is the winter rye is the example. And DNP day normal plants is the 12 hours, and 12 hours is actually is the normal case. And flowering is controlled by endogenous. Some activities is the balsam, and maize is the most important thing. So that's why in the subtropical countries, if you see where the 12 hours dark, 12 hours day in the average condition in a year, they just their food habit is maize. So based on this classification, you can identify which country and what is their food habit means what are the crop is required less light, more dark, or more light, less dark condition. So based on the crop plans, they just cultivate the crop, and their food habit accordingly is actually established. So I think you understood this thing. So in the next class or next tutorial lecture, we'll discuss about the mechanisms and the genes and other significance. Okay, thank you for